The November wind carried the scent of approaching rain as Chen stood outside the marble entrance of the Grandview Hotel. She adjusted her worn gray cardigan one more time, pulling it closer around her thin frame. The fabric was soft from years of washing, and there was a small patch near the hem where she'd carefully mended a tear. Her jeans were clean but faded at the knees, and her canvas sneakers showed every mile she'd walked in them. Through the revolving glass doors, she could see the hotel's restaurant. Even from outside, it looked impossibly elegant. Chandeliers sparkled like falling stars. Men in dark suits and women in designer dresses moved through the space like they owned it. Maya's hands trembled slightly as she checked her phone one more time. Jessica's text still glowed on the screen. Table 12. His name is Ethan Reed. Be yourself. You deserve this, Maya. She almost laughed at that last part. Be yourself. Easy to say when yourself didn't feel like enough. Maya had $23 in her pocket. It was supposed to last her until Friday, when she got paid from her data entry job. She'd skipped lunch to make sure she had enough for bus fare home, just in case this date was a disaster and she needed to leave quickly. Taking a slow, steadying breath, Maya pushed through the revolving door. The lobby was even more intimidating inside. Her sneakers made soft squeaking sounds on the polished marble floor. A woman in a sleek black dress glanced at Maya, then quickly looked away, as if poverty might be contagious. Maya felt her cheeks burn. She wanted to turn around, to run back to her tiny apartment where she belonged. But Jessica had been so hopeful, so insistent. Just one date, Maya. One chance. You never know. The restaurant hostess wore a tight smile that didn't reach her eyes. Can I help you? I'm meeting someone. Table 12. The hostess's expression shifted, becoming cooler. Right this way. Maya followed her through the restaurant, acutely aware of every eye that glanced her way. She felt like an actress who'd wandered onto the wrong stage, still wearing her street clothes while everyone else was in costume. Table 12 sat by a large window overlooking the city. And there, studying a leather-bound menu, was Ethan Reed. He looked exactly like someone who belonged in a place like this. His charcoal suit fit him perfectly, tailored to every line of his body. His dark hair was styled with casual precision. Even the way he sat spoke of confidence and control. This was a man who'd never questioned whether he deserved to be somewhere. Maya's courage nearly failed her. But the hostess was already speaking. Your guest, Mr. Reed. Ethan looked up, and Maya watched his expression shift. Surprise flickered in his eyes, followed by something else she couldn't quite read. He stood smoothly, extending his hand. Maya, hi. Her voice came out quieter than she'd intended. I hope I'm not late. Right on time. His handshake was firm, professional. Please, sit. Maya slid into the chair across from him, hyper-aware of how out of place she looked. The woman at the next table wore a silk blouse that probably cost more than Maya's entire wardrobe. The man beside her had a watch that caught the light like a small sun. A waiter appeared instantly, as if summoned by invisible signals. He placed a heavy menu in front of Maya without quite looking at her. Would you care for something to drink? Ethan asked. Maya opened the menu and felt her stomach drop. The cheapest item she could see was a sparkling water for $12. A simple coffee was $15. The entrees started at $45 and climbed from there. Just water is fine, she said, closing the menu quickly. Tap water. Thank you. Ethan studied her for a moment, then nodded to the waiter. 2 waters, please. We'll need a few minutes. When the waiter left, silence settled over their table like snow. Maya folded her hands in her lap, studying them. Her nails were short and unpolished. She'd scrubbed them clean after her shift, but there was still a faint ink stain on her index finger from when a pen had leaked. Jessica tells me you work in marketing, Ethan said. Maya managed a small smile. That's generous of her. I work at a marketing firm, but I'm in data entry. It's temporary work while I finish my degree. What are you studying? Graphic design. Online classes, mostly at night. She paused, then added, I have 1 more semester left. If I can save enough for the final fees. That's impressive, Ethan said. Working full-time and studying. It can't be easy. Maya shrugged. It keeps me busy. Doesn't leave much time for things like this. She gestured vaguely at the restaurant. Dates, I mean, or fancy dinners. Something flickered in Ethan's expression. What about you? Maya asked, trying to shift the focus. Jessica said you work in business. Yes. Ethan's answer came slowly. I'm in business. The waiter returned with their waters, setting down crystal glasses with thin lemon slices floating inside. He hovered expectantly. "We're not ready to order yet," Ethan said. The waiter nodded and disappeared. Maya sipped her water slowly, trying to make it last, trying to figure out how long she needed to stay before she could politely excuse herself. This was clearly a mistake. She didn't belong here, sitting across from a man in a $1,000 suit, pretending she was someone she wasn't. "Can I ask you something?" Ethan's voice was softer now. Maya set down her glass. "Sure. Why did you agree to this date?" The question caught her off guard. She could have lied, could have said something simple and safe. But something about the way he asked, the genuine curiosity in his eyes, made her answer honestly. "Jessica worries about me," Maya said slowly. "She thinks I work too much and never do anything for myself." "She's probably right. I haven't been on a date in over 2 years. Haven't really had time, or money, or energy for it." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "And I guess part of me thought it might be nice. To feel normal for an evening. To sit somewhere beautiful and talk to someone new, even if it was just pretend." She looked around the elegant restaurant, at all the people who seemed so comfortable in their expensive clothes and easy confidence. "Even if I don't belong in a place like this," she added quietly. Ethan was silent for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice had changed, become gentler, more real. "Can I tell you something, Maya? Something I should have told you the moment you sat down." She nodded, uncertain. "I'm the CEO of Reed Industries. We manufacture sustainable building materials. We're one of the largest companies in the sector." He watched her face carefully. "Jessica works in our communications department. She didn't tell you any of this, did she?" Maya felt the blood drain from her face. "No, she just said you were someone who worked too much. Like me." She wasn't wrong about that. A small, sad smile touched his lips. But she left out some important details. "Why are you telling me this?" Maya asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan leaned forward, his expensive suit creasing slightly. "Because I've been on dozens of dates in the past few years, Maya. Women who researched me before we met. Women who knew my net worth down to the dollar. Women who wore designer dresses and said exactly what they thought I wanted to hear. Women who saw my title and my money before they ever saw me." He paused, and something vulnerable crept into his expression. "You walked in here looking uncomfortable and out of place. You ordered tap water when I know you probably wanted coffee or tea. You told me the truth about your job, even though you could have made it sound more impressive. You admitted you didn't belong here." His voice grew quieter. "Do you know how rare that kind of honesty is? Do you know what it's like to spend years wondering if anyone sees you, really sees you, or if they just see what you can give them?" Maya didn't know what to say. She felt exposed, seen in a way that was both terrifying and strangely comforting. Ethan continued, his words coming faster now, as if he'd been holding them in for too long. "I grew up with nothing, Maya. My mother raised me and my sister alone in a 2-bedroom apartment in Queens. She worked 3 jobs to keep us fed and clothed. I wore shoes that were too small because we couldn't afford new ones. I was the kid at school who never had the right clothes or the right supplies or the right anything." He looked out the window at the glittering city below. "I remember the first time I walked into a place like this. I was 24, just starting my company, meeting with potential investors. I felt exactly like you looked when you walked in tonight. Like I was playing dress up. Like everyone could see right through me to the poor kid underneath." Maya felt something shift in her chest, a recognition she hadn't expected. "Then why did you choose this place for our date?" she asked. Ethan shook his head slowly. "Habit, I guess. This is where I conduct business, where I meet clients and partners. It didn't occur to me how it might feel for someone who..." He stopped himself, wincing. "I'm sorry. That was thoughtless. I should have considered it." "It's okay," Maya said, and she meant it. Ethan reached for his phone, then seemed to change his mind. He set both hands flat on the table, a gesture of openness. "Would you be willing to start this evening over? Somewhere else?" "What do you mean?" "There's a diner called Rosie's about 4 blocks from here. My mom used to take my sister and me there once a month when she could afford it. We'd get pancakes for dinner because they were cheap and filling, and we'd make them last as long as possible." A genuine smile crossed his face. "The coffee is terrible. The booths have duct tape on them. The music is too loud. And it's one of my favorite places in the world." Maya felt herself smile for the first time all evening. "That sounds perfect." Ethan stood and extended his hand, but this time it felt completely different. Less formal, more human. "Hi," he said, "I'm Ethan. I'm the CEO of a company I built from nothing, but honestly, I'm still just a kid from Queens who likes cheap pancakes and honest conversations. I work too much, I sometimes forget where I came from, and I'm really glad you showed up tonight." Maya took his hand. "Hi, I'm Maya. I'm broke, I wear mended cardigans, and I probably should have ordered coffee. I work too hard on a life that doesn't always feel like mine, and I'm really glad I didn't turn around and leave when I saw those chandeliers." They left the Grandview together, walking out into the November night. The threatened rain had started, just a gentle mist that caught the streetlights and made the city shimmer. As they walked toward Rosie's diner, shoulders almost touching, Maya realized something profound. She had arrived at this date looking like she had nothing, no expensive clothes, no polished appearance, no carefully constructed image. But in being exactly who she was, in showing up with her mended cardigan and her honest words and her unguarded heart, she had given Ethan something he'd been searching for through all those expensive dates and perfect smiles. She had given him truth, and in return, he had seen her. Not what she lacked, but everything she was. Sometimes, Maya thought as they pushed open the door to Rosie's diner, nothing is everything. Sometimes showing up as yourself, vulnerable and real, is the bravest and most valuable thing you can offer.